So this guy is currently the most famous scammer in Japan.
Take that phone away from me. Fuck off, bro.
Unfortunately, he's African. Nigerian, to be precise. Imagine being so brazenly stupid that you get caught twice on camera assaulting two different tourists in Japan when you yourself are not even Japanese. You're not even Asian. I mean, this guy was literally in the middle of talking about how safe Japan was relative to other countries. And out of nowhere, a non-Japanese, a Nigerian, shows up to prove him wrong and to remind Japan of why their borders should perhaps remain locked to some foreigners. This behavior is one of the reasons why the anti-foreigner sentiment in Japan keeps getting bad by the year. Uncivilized conduct like this.
Haley Dope says, damn.
Stop that bullshit.
What?
I said stop that bullshit.
What bullshit?
The bullshit you are doing, stop it.
Mappadale says,
Okay,
get a lens
bud.
of DP. We'll soon shut him up.
Bro, what are you doing? Get the fuck out of here.
What's it,
Bro,
bro?
get the fuck out of here.
Fuck off, bro.
I will
What's
break
your
down your
problem?
phone now. Take that phone away from me. Take that phone away from me.
Fuck off, bro.
So let me break down how we got here, why an increasing number of Africans are in Japan and are seemingly involved in borderline criminal activities. This may be a long rant, but it will be worth your time. So, despite being one of the safest tourist destinations in the world, there are still, sketchy things that go on in Japan, especially against tourists. One of such things is these bar scams, where foreigners are usually pressed into visiting bars where they are given exorbitant prices for alcohol. There are generally two types of these bar services. The first and the safest have these ushers, usually young girls, operating just outside the bars or in open street. Some work for maid cafes. You can tell from their uniforms, anime-themed dresses, clearly meant to appeal to people with unique taste, a lot of whom are foreigners. Now, most of these bars don't really fit into the scam category, okay? They're actually operating legally, but you may still get overpriced as a foreigner. You'll pay more than you're supposed to. And then there's the second group, the sketchy bars. And they have these touts, most of whom are African. But what is interesting is that apparently there are recruitment agencies bringing these guys from Africa, mostly West Africa, into Japan to render this type of service. The reason they are this organized and increasingly visible is because there's a system that has been deliberately designed to bring these men into Japan to work for these bars. Now, as far as their personality goes, the African touts are generally nice. Okay, they are friendly because they are trying to get you to visit their bars. They'll promise you a very good time, but some of them will end up emptying your wallets with overpriced alcohol. There are even reports of people getting drunk and raw inside these bars. Not necessarily by the Africans, by the way. Most of the employees inside the bars are actually Asian. As a matter of fact, the Africans are mostly touts. Like I mentioned, they bring in the customers. And I guess they also double as, muscle to maintain order and make sure you pay up after they've overpriced you. So these Africans are merely a tool of a system that has been designed to rip off foreigners. They are not the brains behind the system. Their bosses are usually Japanese or other Asians that are living in Japan. That said, the Africans are now becoming the face of the system, the scam enterprise. And one country is standing out, as they usually do.
Nigerian youth know they carry last.
So Chris, from abroad in Japan, has an entire video about this. I believe he is the biggest non-Japanese YouTuber living in Japan. And he's lived in Japan for over a decade, if I'm not mistaken. And he makes very interesting videos about the place. And here's what he had to say about this whole trend happening in Japan.
The scam you need to worry about the most is in Tokyo, and to be more specific, in the districts of Shinjuku, Roppongi, and to a lesser extent Ueno and Shibuya as well. And the one thing all these areas have in common is historically, they're very touristy places. The story we're going to read out today is actually in Kabukicho. I don't want to put people off Kabukicho though. It is a very cool place. The food's amazing, the nightlife's awesome, the atmosphere is incredible. But I was there only a week ago. It's not an inherently dangerous place, and it's changed a heck of a lot in the last decade. It's far more gentrified now,
so it's
and there's a
been
lot
here
more
for over a
hotels.
decade.
And so there's a good chance you'll stay there if you do come to Tokyo. But there's one rule you need to follow if you do go there, and that is never, ever, ever follow one of the touts into a bar. And if you follow that rule, you can basically switch the video off now and have a nice day. Unfortunately, a lot of people do follow the street touts. They're pretty nice people, they're very engaging and good at what they do, and they're there to get you off the street and into a bar. And you might be thinking, well, oh yeah, it's obvious, don't follow them. That's a golden rule for not just Japan, but many countries. But I think a lot of people get lulled into that false sense of security, given that it is Japan, given that it is an inherently safe country. Now, the touts that target foreigners specifically are actually foreigners themselves. They're not Japanese, they're Nigerian guys that have been given visas to come over and basically kind of do this and work for these organisations in the area.
Nigerians always making a name for themselves anyway they find this.
They have two very good skills. Number one, they're very friendly and engaging. And number two, they're very persistent. Once you start speaking to someone, you
Very accurate. Nigerians are very friendly and very business-minded and very persistent people.
can't get rid of them, and it gets very difficult. And if you're none the wiser to the scam, either you or your group of friends might say, yeah, who doesn't want free drinks? I'd love a free drink, let's go. And away you go to a bar that's typically hidden several stories up in one of the buildings down that very neon lit district. Now once you get inside one of these bars, you are, for lack of a better phrase, pretty screwed. You are going to get charged extortionate prices for drinks. 3, 4, 5 times what you're expected to pay. When the bill comes, the odds are you're going to query it. You're going to be like, no, I'm not paying $200 for what was $20, $30 of drinks. And it's at this point you won't be allowed to leave the bar. There'll be a group of people blocking the door, basically preventing you from leaving until you either pull out the cash or a credit card. In some cases, if you don't have cash, they might take you to an ATM. They'll like frog march you to a fucking ATM and watch you get the money out. It's pretty insane. Don't think just because you've got no cash on you, you've got a magical get out of jail free card.
That's basically robbery.
Somehow. And those free drinks and reasonable prices you were promised at the start of the night have gone on to become the most expensive drinks you've probably ever had. But the worrying thing is that's actually a pretty good variation of the scam. That's a less severe one than the one we're going to read out now, because it can go much worse than that.
So there you have it. It's a long video. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'll put a link of the video or his channel in the description, so you can go there from here. The stories only get wilder and wilder, from scams to calls, pretty stuff. Abroad in Japan is the name of his channel. You can check him out if you care for, Japanese content. But I'll end with this. Being a tout in itself is okay. These guys are also just trying to survive. And they don't seem to be illegal migrants. I doubt it's easy to get into Japan illegally in the first place, and it's modest to work, if done legally. There's no shame there. But being as aggressive to tourists as this guy was, when you are in a land where the public opinion about you is at a low, that's just bold and stupid. And to add insult to injury, some of you are involved in borderline criminal practices. So if anything at all, you should be keeping a low profile. Like there was a massive protest against you just a few months ago. Have you forgotten? But look at them here, doing this to foreigners in front of Japanese. You've become so comfortable that you don't even care to hide anymore. Listen to one of the victims describe that encounter. What happened after the guy assaulted him.
Hit me from behind where I couldn't even see him. Directly in the back of the head, very dangerous area to get hit. Dude goes across the street to the other side and immediately runs away from me, and he hooks up with 4 to 5 of his boys, and they're all over there, and they're puffing their chests out at me, not walking toward me, but kind of standing there like, what, are you gonna try some shit? And they weren't saying anything, but this dude just kept saying, and you can hear it in the video, he keeps going, "Are you stupid? Are you stupid? What the fuck is wrong with you? No camera, no video, no camera. Don't film me." And he just keeps saying that. "Are you fucking stupid?" And I look around, there's all these tourists, like I said, because there are all these tourists taking videos and pictures of the Godzilla statue. So there are all these tourists, and they're all like classic like white tourists. They're all sitting around, they're like, oh my God. And they all ran back and they're all like this. Like there were like at least 10 to 20 witnesses. And they're all like this. And I'm standing there in the middle of the street and I was just like, I remember I didn't even know what to say. I turned my camera, the reason I turned my camera off is because I thought I was gonna have to fight. I was like, holy shit, like what do I do? And I'm standing there in the middle of the street, just me, and then there's like 4 or 5 of these guys on the other side of the street. And this guy just keeps yelling. And I remember he was yelling so loud that spit was just flying out of his mouth. He was like, "Are you stupid?" And there was just all this spit flying out of his mouth. It was fucking disgusting.
Yeah, but these guys are very, very bold. It's crazy. It's crazy how bold you can be in another person's country, where, like I said, the public opinion about you is at an all-time low. And yet you are bold enough to assault people and to cause such a public scene. So at the end of the day, the headlines are going to read, Nigerian migrants conducting scam operations in Japan. Meanwhile, the owners of these bars, the real criminals, are Japanese in a lot of cases. But they are helping drive down the public sentiment about these African in general, actually. Yeah, let me know what your opinions are in the comment section. Like, comment, share. I'll see you in the next one.